This is the first video I've made in a really long time, and I just wanted to come on here and give everybody some hope and encouragement. That's ultimately the goal of this video. I'm 39 years old. I'm unemployed. I lost my job recently, actually, very recently, and I have nothing to show for anything in my life. Nothing to show at all. And I could blame everything: the economy, the environment, my upbringing. I could blame any number of things on why I am where I am today. But none of that really matters. Really, the only thing that matters is that I take personal accountability for the reason I am where I am. And sure, there might be some other factors involved, but realistically, you're the only one who can change your future. You're the only one who can change the present and what you do going forward. And I refuse to be a victim. I refuse to die on my knees, so to speak. I'd rather struggle on my feet than die on my knees. I want to just give you guys some hope and encouragement. If you're going through a similar thing, you're not alone. You're not alone. And there's a lot of people right now who are going through it, actually. Anywhere you look, if you go on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, people are struggling right now. Shit's hard out there. Life is hard right now for a lot of people. So I'm not special. I'm not, living in a house here with 3 roommates. I only pay like $700 in rent, but the problem is it's just so hard to find a damn job right now. Everybody, I've put hundreds of applications out. Nobody seems to be hiring. Trump's touting, we're creating all these jobs and the economy's the best it's ever been. But that's not what the American people are feeling. That's not what any of us are feeling. And I voted for the guy 2 times. That's a whole different subject for another day. We'll get into that later, but people are struggling right now. And it seems like the politicians and the administration and everybody else is just focused on all these other problems that don't even matter. Yet the American people are sitting here wondering when they're going to get their next paycheck, wondering when they're going to get their next meal, if the unemployment check's going to clear. It's just brutal out there for a lot of people, and I can't blame anyone for feeling the way they do. I really can't. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent this month. I don't know how I'm going to pay for the car. When I was working a good job, making good money, I was making $100K a year, close to it, and I was able to afford all this stuff. I was able to afford a 4-bedroom house, pay all the bills, have everything taken care of. My wife stayed at home. I was able to raise my daughter, help my sister get through college, help her son out. There's no job loyalty anymore. There's no company loyalty. It's not like it used to be, where you could work a job for 35 years, 40 years, retire, have a pension, have a 401k, have everything taken care of, and buy a house on a matchbox salary. It's not like that anymore. People are really struggling to get by, working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And the reality of the situation is no one can stay home, and both spouse and husband and wife have to work just to make it. America is just on fire right now. There's so much going on. There's the Epstein, the UFO files, the war in Iran, and everything else seems to be detracting from the problems that are actually happening in the United States. I didn't expect to be here at 39 years old. I thought climbing my way up the corporate ladder, eating shit for years and years and years would amount to something. And it hasn't. It's amounted to absolutely nothing. And it's just realizing that it's just a hard pill to swallow. My life is basically a lie. I understand Gen Z and why they don't want to work and why they're doing this quiet quitting thing. And I was so disconnected from that movement growing up. I thought that people would be proud of me based on my job title, based on how much money I made. None of that shit matters. Really, honestly, no one cares. Whoop-de-doo. You're making good money. Okay, great. Let's see how long this one lasts. It's cutthroat. It's dog eat dog out there. These jobs don't give a shit about you. You don't need to put in a 2 weeks notice when they'll literally fire you for no reason. I think everybody has something that makes them special, that makes them unique, that makes them stand out from everybody else. The problem is they're afraid to tap into that. because they've been confined to the box that society puts them in. And when you're in that box and when you're confined in that space for so long, you start to lose the parts of yourself that make you special to begin with. Death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It just slowly picks away at every little piece, every little morsel. And every time that happens, you become less and less the person you're supposed to be, and more the person society wants you to be. And it's really tragic that that's the case, because humans are not meant to be confined. We're not meant to be in these little cubicles, in these little boxes, in these little spaces, and just suffocated by society's expectations. We're not meant for that life. We're meant to be creative and expressive and artistic and all these other great things. And we're not able to accomplish any of that because society's got us in these molds, and people are just afraid to break out. They're afraid of what happens if they break out of the mold and go against the grain. There's a reason I haven't been able to keep a job. There's a reason every time I go to work, I get that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach when I have to start day one, that Monday. Hey, you start Monday, and my excitement level immediately plummets. And it's back to like, oh shit, another job, another data entry position, whatever the hell it might be. If it's construction, you're out in the field busting your ass in the sun, breaking your body down. You know, if it's an office job or a desk job, you're in there working with a bunch of people with no personality. The whole environment, the whole atmosphere is just gray and dull and emotionless. Humans aren't made for that. And you sit in traffic every day and you just dread going to work. When you wake up in the morning and you have that feeling of absolute dread, you know it's not meant for you. You know that life is not meant for you, but you wake up, you get dressed, you go through the motions, you shower, you shit, you shave, you do your thing, you get in the car, you drive to your job, and you do it all day, every day. And the longer you do that, the less and less you will be yourself, and the more you will be what society wants you to be. So at what point do you decide to break out of the mold? At what point do you take that leap of faith and just do what you want to do with your life? Regardless of what anybody says or who judges you or who, oh, you're trying to be a content creator. Yeah, I am. Who cares? Yeah, go start that YouTube channel, write that book, make that music, do that thing that you've always wanted to do. What's holding you back? Now, money, that's a legitimate thing. Money, if you know, I don't have the money. Totally understand that. So how do you get the money? And that's the biggest question. That's the biggest question everybody has. How do you get the money to buy you the freedom to be able to do the things you want to do? I can't answer that for you. You have to figure that out on your own. But there's a lot of different ways to make money in today's society, in today's economy. There's online coaching, there's courses, there's seminars, there's webinars, there's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, content, social media strategy, marketing, all kinds of stuff. And that's just to name a few. I mean, there's all these things. We have AI, and don't get me wrong, AI is not necessarily the greatest thing in the world in a lot of cases, but I mean, everybody knows how to use ChatGPT. Some people know how to use Claude. There's ways to do things now. We have an opportunity at our fingertips that we never had before. The AI is for people who are creators. It's not for these millionaire, billionaire people. It's not for them. It was made for you. Use it, leverage it, even out the playing field so that we can get ahead. And these billionaires and millionaires and these people who already have the money, they don't get any more money because we're leveraging technology and all these resources we have at our disposal. We have the internet. We have all these tools and resources, and it's just people just don't realize the opportunities that are right in front of them. And I just think, it's time to wake up. If you've been asleep at the wheel, it's time to wake up. At what point are you going to pick yourself? At what point are you going to bet on yourself? At what point do you realize that you can win too? But you got to apply yourself. You can't just sit around and expect for things to fall in your lap. It's not going to happen like that. You got to want it. And you got to know deep down that there's something greater for you. There's a bigger purpose for you in this life than what you're doing. And the motion, going through the motions, waking up every day, dragging yourself to a shitty job you hate every single day. You got to break out of your cage. You know, the cage that society and the matrix has confined you to. And I'm not trying to get all Andrew Tate on anybody. I'm not trying to do that, but that's what it is. So this is me starting my channel, and this is me starting again. This is me starting over again. And I hope that you guys get some kind of value out of this. I hope you guys get some kind of inspiration out of what I'm saying here, because each and every one of you is special and unique in your own way. But I can't tell you what to do with that. You guys have to leverage it. You guys have to seize the opportunities that are in front of you right now and choose to go against the grain. And I hope you bet on yourself. For once in your life, I hope you bet on yourself. I'll see you in the next one.